Commander Ilara Voss stood before the crystalline archive, her reflection fractured across 1,000 frozen faces. Each face belonged to a Kethran, the species that had once ruled 3 star systems with absolute cruelty. Now they existed only here, in this monument of quantum-preserved consciousness, suspended forever in the moment of their civilization's end. The war had lasted 17 years. Humanity had made first contact with the Kethran hegemony in 2247, when the colony ship New Horizons stumbled into their territory near the Carina Nebula. The Kethrans were technologically superior, their ships faster, their weapons more devastating. They were also sadistic. They didn't simply destroy the New Horizon, they dissected it, keeping the crew alive for months as biological curiosities, broadcasting their screams across subspace channels as a warning. Earth's coalition government had tried diplomacy. Admiral Chen himself had led a delegation, unarmed, broadcasting peaceful intentions in every known language and mathematical sequence. The Kethrans had allowed them to land on their homeworld, Keth Prime, and escorted them to the Grand Assembly. Admiral Chen had knelt before the Kethran Eternal Council and asked for peace. They had laughed. Not a polite dismissal, but genuine amusement. The Eternal Council's 13 members had laughed until their translator implants struggled to convey the nuances of their mockery. They found humanity's weakness delicious. They found our hope pathetic. One council member, whose name translated roughly to Devourer of Lesser Thoughts, had personally executed Admiral Chen on the assembly floor, slowly, while the others watched and commented on human pain thresholds. The execution was broadcast to Earth. Humanity watched their most decorated admiral die, and something fundamental shifted in the collective human psyche. Dr. Yuki Tanaka had been a pacifist before that day. She'd won the Nobel Prize for her work on non-lethal defense systems. But when she saw Admiral Chen's death, she locked herself in her laboratory for 3 weeks. When she emerged, she carried the blueprints for the Cascade Protocol. The theory was elegant, terrifying in its simplicity. Every star was a fusion reactor, balanced between the crushing force of gravity and the explosive force of nuclear fusion. That balance was delicate. Dr. Tanaka had discovered how to tip it. The coalition had debated for months. Some argued it was genocide. Others argued that genocide required the extinction of people, and the Kethrans had proven themselves to be something less than people. They were predators who killed for sport, who tortured for entertainment, who saw all other life as resources to be consumed. Captain Marcus Webb had been chosen to deliver the second message. He piloted a stealth frigate, the Silent Witness, deep into Kethran space. He avoided their patrols, slipped past their sensor nets, and positioned his ship in orbit around Keth Prime. Then he transmitted one final offer: withdraw from all human colonies, cease all hostilities, and enter negotiations. The response came within an hour. The Kethrans had captured 3 human mining vessels near the Helios cluster. They executed the crews on live broadcast, 1 per minute, for 6 hours. 240 souls, extinguished as punishment for humanity's audacity in asking for mercy twice. Captain Webb had his orders. Plan B. He deployed 17 quantum-entangled probes into Keth Prime star, a G-type main sequence star, similar to Sol. The probes burrowed through the photosphere, through the convection zone, down into the radiative layer. There they waited, synchronized, ready. The coalition sent the evacuation warning. Every Kethran received the message simultaneously: you have 72 hours to evacuate Keth Prime and its system. Your star has been compromised. This is not a negotiation. This is a consequence. The Kethrans laughed again. Their best scientists examined their star and found nothing wrong. Their arrogance was absolute. They believed themselves untouchable. 68 hours later, Dr. Tanaka activated the Cascade Protocol from her laboratory on Mars. The quantum probes released precisely calibrated magnetic pulses into the star's core. Normally, a star's magnetic fields helped regulate the fusion process. Dr. Tanaka's probes disrupted those fields in a cascading pattern. The star's core compressed suddenly, massively, triggering a runaway fusion reaction. Keth Prime's star didn't explode. Not exactly. Instead, it underwent what Dr. Tanaka called temporal dilation collapse. The star's light output increased 60-fold in 30 seconds. The radiation wasn't just heat and light, it was a quantum wave that interacted with complex neural structures. With consciousness itself, the Kethrans on the Homeworld had approximately 8 seconds of awareness as the wave hit. 8 seconds to feel their synapses overload with sensory input beyond comprehension. 8 seconds to understand, truly understand, what they had done to deserve this. Then their consciousness crystallized. The quantum radiation froze their neural patterns in spacetime, turning every Kethran on the planet into a quantum-preserved statue. Their bodies remained, perfectly preserved, their minds locked in that final moment of realization. They weren't dead, scans confirmed ongoing neural activity, but they would never think another thought, never move, never experience anything beyond that frozen instant of horror. 3 million Kethrans. An entire civilization, caught mid-scream. The Coalition had built the crystalline archive around the planet. They preserved it exactly as it was, a warning to any species that might consider following the Kethran example. Tourists came now, from a dozen allied species. They walked among the frozen Kethrans, seeing the terror locked in their expressions. Commander Voss touched the crystal surface, feeling the slight vibration of quantum activity beneath. Somewhere in this monument was the devourer of lesser thoughts, frozen forever in the moment he realized his people had laughed at the wrong species. "Do you think it was justice?" Lieutenant Park asked, standing beside her. Voss considered the question. Humanity had been careful after Keth Prime. They'd used the Cascade Protocol only twice more, both times against species attempting to replicate Kethran tactics. Both times, they'd given evacuation warnings. Both times, the warnings were heeded. "I think," Voss said slowly, "it was necessary. We asked for peace. We begged for it. They chose mockery. They chose cruelty." She paused, her reflection fragmenting across 1,000 frozen faces. "We gave them a memorial. It's more than they gave Admiral Chen." They turned to leave, walking between rows of crystallized Kethrans, each face locked in eternal understanding. The archive's quantum lights flickered overhead, maintaining the temporal freeze that would last until the heat death of the universe. Humanity had learned a terrible lesson: peace was preferable, but mercy required two participants. When facing predators who saw compassion as weakness, sometimes the only moral choice was to become the apex predator. The galaxy remembered. And the galaxy was much quieter now.